Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Craig Smith, aka the Rhino, aka former NBA vet and Big Three assassin, and you are now listening to Triple Overtime.
From tip-off to buzzer beater,
kickoff to Hail Mary,
this is Triple Overtime. Welcome back to Triple Overtime. It's your boy Cliff here with the squad. Shout out to Tony and Tiago.
Yo, what's up?
That's good.
Today we have a very special guest, Boston College legend and NBA vet, Craig Smith.
Thanks for having me, man. I really, really appreciate it, guys.
And just before we get started, just so the people can know your background, I went to school in Boston, so I know a lot about you. I've actually been on Boston College campus, so I've got to see the work that you did when you were up there. And so I just want to take a moment to just commend you for an amazing college career. What you did was amazing, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I had fun. I was an inner city LA kid going across the country to Boston, in which to me it was very different, especially weather-wise. And I'm very spoiled with weather growing up with a lot of sunshine, and to go out there and toughen it out, I think it really made me a better human being overall.
We all three live in Florida, bro, so we understand being spoiled with weather, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, it's different on the East Coast, though.
It's very, very different.
The Boston Winters, they get you right. They'll get you right real quick.
My first week there is a blizzard, so
broke you right in then.
Right in. I missed the class. I got a call from Coach Skinner. It's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, this is different out here, okay? Man. I touched the window, it's freezing.
Speaking about, Boston College and your experience there, we would love to hear about some of your favorite moments that you had while you were attending.
Or some of my favorite moments, I think my last year in the Big East, I thought that was special because we started off the season 20-0. Obviously, we felt like we could have done better in the postseason, but I think just to have that, because I felt like we were getting a lot of hatred for us leaving, even though it wasn't really us, as the players. Mm-hmm. Another moment is of going into the ACC and going into a new territory that, we've known the Big East for 3+ years, and to now be in a totally new league was something cool, and it was motivational. We started off tough at 0-3, finished real strong, and got into the ACC tournament, which was real good. But I think one pivotal game for us was it was a rematch against North Carolina State. And I think that was one of my best games ever to me because I had food poisoning from the night before. Being a college student, you think to get some fast food, and ended up with food poisoning. I threw up before the game and at halftime. And just to overcome that, because it was such a pivotal win for us to put us in a situation to get a bye. So that was a really good moment for myself and I know for the team because we ended up winning in double overtime.
That's dope, man. I mean, it's amazing to see what you accomplished in your time there. And one thing I wanted to speak to you about too is I see you're just looking at your career there at Boston College. You're one of the few players looking back now that we think about it that, well, when we consider the players now, you did four full years at Boston College. We can see today that's not very common in players. Could you speak to how those 4 years shaped you and helped you to prepare you for the NBA?
Absolutely. I think those years really helped me mature a little bit more. I was still a little bit young-minded, and I needed to get my body right. I came in, I was a little bit of a chubby guy, and I kind of understood the work ethic I needed to put in to be at my best. And I think during the course of each and every year, I would see myself mature from my freshman into my senior year, which is, really, really different as far as, guys really accepting that challenge. And I mean, I had a guy by the name of Troy Bell who was with me my freshman year, was a senior. And I mean, just following those guidelines, I think really motivated me. And plus, it was just like I always wanted to do my 4 years and be out. I didn't want to come back either.
Gotcha.
I think it was something that I owed to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you do think back and it's like, man, I was damn near a 20-point scorer my freshman year. I could have been out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is. You have an advantage or an edge that people would want to see you go professional or be a professional at an earlier age. And I think that's just the age and, what we're going with, because it's just like, if you're fit for the league, you might as well go. I mean, even before that happened, and there was an era where, guys would come out of high school, but then it was a point where everybody felt they should come out of high school. And I don't think that's necessarily the case, because some people need to mature, more than others, especially at that age of coming out of high school. And just for me, I love the atmosphere of being in school, loving to go to class, because we were really one of the main schools. We really had to go to class, or we would end up being in trouble. So it was a point to go to class. Networking with friends that I feel like are so important today in the scheme of things, because I had a lot of people that I always made sure I meshed around and hung out with some of my roommates, or just introduced my people to my classmates, or just while even hanging in the cafeteria. And I feel like it does a wonder now, because I feel like there's such a really good community in BC where I still talk to a lot of guys from my school. So it was just a mixture of that and the competition of getting better each and every day. I mean, I'm going against guys, Ryan Gomes, Hakeem Warwick, Rudy Gay, Charlie Villanueva, Sheldon Williams, JJ Redick. So I feel like we really had a good mode of competition too, to where it was just like, we kind of make each other better out here. And I mean, it's almost comparable in the sense to a league like atmosphere because of those type of players.
Exactly.
And you had that dedication to the school, because JJ was a 4-year player too over at Duke, and he ended up breaking a lot of records out that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. JJ, man, he was a beast, man. He was a straight shooter, but I liked him. I liked his toughness in college at Duke. He didn't really back down from anybody and always really accepted the challenge. And I feel like that's what helped him along the way today, because I know coming out of Duke and having so much success, he had to sit down and actually watch and observe the game for like a year or two, something like that. So I know that could have been tough on him, but I know he's a strong individual. That's why he's still in there battling tough.
And speaking of records and breaking record, Troy Bell, you mentioned him earlier. I know he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's the all-time leading scorer at Boston College. And
nobody's.
I mean, but you're right there. You're number two. You're right there.
Yeah, but I mean, this dude was making and one threes, and he would and during my freshman year, he was making one like every game or every other game. So it's like, how am I going to beat that? Troy was a guy who low-key was ahead of his time. You think about all the scoring guards we have in the NBA today, and I feel like Troy fits right in that mold of a guy who has a three-point knockdown shot, can get his shot at any point, can really penetrate the defense and make plays, So that dude, I don't think people gonna beat that record.
It's tough. It's tough. Another ode to you. Like, you're one of the few people in college basketball history to have 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like, that's big ups to that.
I'm just blessed and thankful that I had the right chip on my shoulder to help motivate me to do, some special things at BC. I just wanted to really show people that I'm a great Division I player, because coming out of high school, and actually like my junior year, I had Oregon State had resent a scholarship and didn't think I was going to be able to play basketball at the collegiate level. So I just wanted to prove all my doubters wrong and really do something special where I felt like I had an avenue and a lane for it, and that was at BC.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, obviously you had this fantastic career over in Boston College, but kind of transitioning into the NBA. And like you mentioned before, a lot of these kids now, it's one and done. It's about getting to the league. It's about rushing to the league. And unfortunately, sometimes you see these kids, they come in and quite frankly, they're not ready for the league. Right? They came in too early. So I want to ask you, as a 4-year player, someone who took time to learn and develop their game, what was your draft day experience like? How did you make that transition?
Well, I felt like it was a pretty easy transition by having a coach like Al Skinner. I mean, we really had league practices, but didn't really know that until we got into the process. And it was just really, really simple. I think the main thing for me was I wasn't able to work out in the draft workouts. So that's why I really felt like I got picked second round, because I didn't have an opportunity to continue to show people how well my game is against the top talent that was being drafted at the time. But thankfully, I got drafted, and I think my thing was it was big about confidence, having big confidence coming from two different powerhouse leagues in college. Having a coach like Al Skinner where he ran certain practices, so when I would be able to get taught the strategies or different things from other coaches in the league, it was really similar to me, and I had understanding of it already. And I think that's some of the things that are like really, really important, because I mean, in high school, sometimes it can be just like pick up basketball. You can just go and be dunking on fools and different that. But when you're taught defensive strategies, principles, timing, where you have to be in certain situations, where you actually have to think about these things, I think that's why it's really important for the young guys to really understand the game, because it's just not about putting the basketball in the hoop. And I always say this, when you become a professional, it's almost like, you know, when you're a dancer and you go in there and you got to learn that routine once. And if you mess up at any time during that routine, you're probably going to get cut. So that's in the same sense of basketball, to where, hey, if a coach tries to tell you something in the run the play, I'm going to show you this play once. And if you don't know it, then I don't know if you can just pick things up on the fly like that. And I think just by having the maturity of that and understanding the game for so long, those things just really were simple to me, and I was just able to mesh right in. And meshing in and getting respects from people my rookie year, like Kevin Garnett, Ricky Davis, Trenton Hassel, you know, playing out there with those guys. And those guys I've watched on TV since I was a kid. So I think that's what definitely helped me along my way, just having those type of people around me, and then just having to understand these certain principles in the game and really trying to be a student of the game.
For sure, man. Even looking at your numbers, it seemed like, you know, like by year 3, even a little sooner, you were just right there. It's like you had been a vet, you know, this whole time. But it's funny in Minnesota too, because I kind of wanted to ask you, because it's funny, we kind of see him now talking about Kevin Love in Cleveland. Sometimes there's memes because it's like I don't even recognize the dude anymore. He looks totally different. Now, your last year in Minnesota was Kevin Love's rookie year. So talk to me about him a little bit if you can. Like, what do you see a difference in? Because you saw him firsthand. So what was he like?
The dude looks like a model right now. Let's just be honest. I'm so proud of Kevin, man, because he's a very, very hard worker. And since day one, I felt that sense in him that he always wanted to get better. And then I try to take him on by him being my rook, to understanding what it is to do in the weight room. So we would be in the weight room early, you know, because I understand he always wanted to continue to get better, especially within his body. And I mean, he was already a hell of a rebounder when he got there. He was already a hell of a passer. I mean, he's got like that quarterback skill when he could throw it from out of bounds, land it on point to somebody. I mean, you can't teach that sometimes, you know? And for him to already have that, just know he just needed these couple things to critique, because his minutes are going to start improving. You know, he's going to start being able to really be free out there versus restricted, you know, because when you're young trying to learn, you're going to be restricted. But I mean, he came from a basketball family, so it already was trying to connect. And I think just having that opportunity with him was really, really cool, because, you know, we were almost about to make some really special things happen until they broke us all up. But you can see the specialty in him and how he was going to be a star.
For sure, man. And that's a shame with Minnesota, man. But like we talk about it on the podcast all the time, like it's like every time they're almost there, you know, it's like they can't quite
mix it up, man. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, I had to deal with dealing with having Kevin Garnett my whole year and being able to understand the game from him. I was greedy because I felt like I wanted that more each and every year, because I thought it was going to make me so much better. To lose him, then to get Al Jefferson and Ryan and Kevin Love and those guys in there, it was just like we made each other better, because obviously we had to continue to battle. But then that third year, we were really understanding. And when Kevin McHale took over, it was like, oh, I think we have something to come in here to build towards next year. But you know, it's a business. It happens.
For sure.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I tell you what, going back to when you first came into the league, because it seems like everybody has that one moment where they came in and it's like, welcome to the league, whether you get busted on by somebody or you get something happen. So I kind of want to ask you that. What was your moment where either somebody just got, and you just realized you're like, yo, this is NBA?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few moments. I feel like there was always that first day we had pickup. You go in there and you see all the faces for the first time. You really see the team. Then you see KG, and he's like 8 feet tall, ducking through the door. It's like, this isn't TV. This is really how he is. Like, oh, okay. To having an opportunity where he guards me in the first play. Obviously, I make the bucket, and I'm like,
obviously.
Obviously.
In my mind, because, you're confident. You just like, you don't care who's in front of you,
Oh, I'm with you.
You got to do that. So I felt like, for me, I didn't think he knew my handle. He thought I was just a rebounder. So I'm over here, it's pickup. I'm just being free, not thinking of any noise outside. I hit him with a little move. I go up. I'm like, yo, I can't lay this up. I lay this up. He's going to cuss me out. They're going to take me out. I got to go up and dunk this. I go up and dunk it. I get my little scream. I see he's like, okay. I don't score the whole game. I was like, I thought I was good. And then it was just like, oh, okay. Damn, you're really strong.
Yep.
Yeah, Another one was Vladimir Romanovic. He was playing for the Lakers. I'm like, I got this guy. I didn't know he was a little bit that quick. He had hit like 8 buckets in a row on me. He had to call a timeout. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? I gotta lock in a little bit more. Cause I'm just, I'm giving him space. I'm like, I don't think he liked that, but he served me up them 8 straight buckets real quick, and they went on and got a big lead. But those are the 2 moments I remember for sure. And I can't forget playing against Tim Duncan, and we're all at the free throw line, and we're getting ready to rebound, and all of a sudden you just hear a voice out of nowhere like, man, I'm about to windmill this. What? Just little funny things like that. Like, I would never thought I would hear Tim Duncan say some crap like that. But
is he really like super nice? Like, he's really just like that. It's like a nice guy.
Super nice, super cool. Majority of these guys, which people don't understand, are really, really cool. And I think when you get a part of the brotherhood, it's a little acceptance. So, you get to have a conversation or two with them. So, those type of points. And maybe another one would be like Dirk. I felt like there was one first half, I was doing a good job. Dirk only had like 5 points. And Dirk comes out with like 2 threes, a little fade away with the knee up. I'm like, damn, I wasn't going to be able to keep you cold for long. He just started laughing like, yeah, man.
Dang, that's crazy, man. Well, then look, because it happens to everybody, right? So obviously you're talking about Tim, you're talking about Dirk. Who would you say, without a doubt, was the hardest person you ever had to guard?
Oh, the hardest person I ever had to guard.
That you just like, yo, there's nothing I can do.
Probably would be like, when you getting the switches on Kobe or T-Mac, those are a little bit different, So I say like those guys, I felt like they were really tough because they would just pull something out of the hat, man, which be something different. You think you got them locked up here, like, all right, I cut them off baseline. And then they do some type of footwork or some type of move, and it's like, yo, I gotta watch the film of that because I gotta understand what they actually did. That was the toughest part. And I will also say Rasheed Wallace. He just knew it. I remember it was like a jump ball scenario. We just started the game. We running down. He already talking about I got a mouse in the house. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Who do you think he talking to? He gets it off the block. He's chilling like, look, dude, I'm about to hit you with this cold turnaround. Splat, told you. Like, oh,
Rasheed always been grimy though. Like, he just that dirty work. That's what he does. He just does all the stuff nobody wants to do.
And I love it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, for me, it's a challenge in a sense, But at the same time, this dude's in the league for a reason. He's an all-star for a reason. He's a champion for a reason, and he can back it up. And I always thought that was special. You talk the talk, but you walk the walk too. You know what I'm saying? And playing against those guys, they definitely did both.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's crazy.
What's one thing, if you could tell, fans, the 3 of us, we're pretty much just fans, man. Like, We just started this podcast at the beginning of the year. We're having a great time with it. We're talking to a lot of people. But what's one thing you could tell fans about being a professional athlete?
One thing, that's a really good question, because I feel like I think you really have to be a student of the game and have understanding. And I think it goes in different situations, from learning your own offense to learning how refs make calls. I think those are very big things. Not only that, defensive strategies, to being able to outwork your opponent. I feel like I've always had to be a double worker in a sense. I had to make sure I had to get my work in practice, outside of practice, after and before. So that mental, I think what I would want them to probably understand is the mindset of an NBA player, how hard you got to work, how really you got to be focused in on taking care of your body. Putting in time for the game, and sometimes not having the opportunity to be around family and friends. I mean, we play this game on Thanksgiving and on Christmas. So I think just to understand how players think, I think we think a little bit differently, but at the same time, it's kind of all the same in a sense, because we're all basketball players. Sometimes we all do a mixture of the same things, but I would definitely say the mindset, just having a understanding a little bit more of what people go through. And they're not necessarily always superheroes, and I feel like sometimes fans can overstep their boundaries, when I feel like if you were put out here in this situation, I don't know how you would survive,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a conversation, a very similar conversation about the WNBA, actually, with Christine Williamson from ESPN a couple weeks ago, about guys not being able to survive if they had to play against WNBA players. And, but they better believe they're on Twitter, just typing away.
Typing away. And let's be honest, I feel, and I have an understanding that women have a better shot than guys because of this muscle underneath their shoulder. It's a little bit more pure for them. That's why they have a little bit more cash in the jump shot. You see college basketball, when they do the 3-point shooting, majority of the time, those girls be winning when they started doing that competition at the end. So it's just like, you can never take away from a woman's game. I mean, my mom showed me how to play the game of basketball. So I have an understanding of that, and I'm a big fan of women, because they pour a little bit more emotion into it as well in the game. Very, very emotionally driven, and especially when you think, that people can take advantage of you or go at you. I mean, I don't know, like just saying Brittany Griner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, guys, let's be honest, that's on social media platforms, can really say they can go get a bucket against her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want no part of that.
That's a one-on-one. That's a one-on-one I'm a miss, bro. Like, I'm 6'5" and I'm confident, but I ain't that confident. All right, so you've had a very unique basketball experience. You've played all around the world, from in the NBA in America to Israel, Hong Kong. Like, what's your favorite? What's been your favorite franchise? And if you don't want to say franchise, what's your favorite place to play? And then I am gonna make you name one name. Who's your favorite teammate?
I mean, having the opportunity to come back home and play, I mean, that's something that I will forever be grateful for, to see my family and friends and have the opportunity to play in my own city. That's always going to be something to hold dear to my heart. I've had different experiences that were very great at the same time between Israel and China. Like, I love both of those places. I mean, Israel, in a sense, it's always kind of warm, like LA. A lot of people speak English. And I really want to understand the culture a little bit more, and it's got a lot of history, especially living in Jerusalem. I can't take nothing away from that. That was so dope of an experience. Also in China, though, I mean, in China, we had this big NBA jet bus. We would take it to the games, or we would take it to, obviously we had to fly, and the airport would be like an hour away. So we had those, but not only that, we got to see pretty cool museums out there, like a lot of cool team gatherings. And I thought that was really cool and really, really special. And it just showed me a different aspect of China. Israel, I have friends and family to this day that I talk to. I feel like each experience for me is definitely something I hold dear because, I mean, I still talk to these people till today, you know, and we still have a great rapport. And I think that's just what it's about, understanding different cultures and obviously making friends and family and those type of situations out of it. Now, my favorite teammate?
Craig Smith, citizen of the world. Who's your favorite teammate, bro?
Man. All right, so if I'm in different regions, can I say I'm in different regions, or you got to be one total?
One name, dog.
Yeah, we don't do political answers, man. We ain't going to make you run for office here.
I'm going to be honest, man. I always loved DeAndre Jordan's his mindset and his attitude, man. He's a fun guy and a hard worker, and I felt like he always made me laugh. So I'll probably say DeAndre.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. I'm gonna double down on that. You were at BC for 4 years. Out of all your teammates, you had a lot of guys come in, a lot of guys go. Who did you have the most fun with?
I had the most fun with my roommate Lewis Hennett because he was my teammate, but he was my roommate for all 4 years.
Oh, so you got a bunch of trouble.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Bro, we've all three been to college, man. We don't need a lot.
You can't forget about Jared, man, because Jared is a fun guy.
JD, shout out to JD. Yeah, man.
Jared's a real fun guy, and just always knew what to say at the given moments, man, to make people laugh. And just what he does right now on the social media platform. I mean, the guy's a guru, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. So JD was always fun.
That's cool, bro. So as your basketball career progresses and you know, your experiences change, the past couple of years, the Big Three has become a thing, and you've been a part of that. So we would like to hear, like, you know, how's your experience been in the Big Three? Like, did you foresee it becoming so big and so like I watched the Big Three, like I watched the NBA, like I'm waiting to check out what y'all doing.
Yeah, I think they had something great, Ice Cube and Jeff, and they really were doing something good. I seen the first 2 years, and I felt like the third year I really, really wanted to be a part of it because I just had an itch to play the game still, and I felt like I can still play basketball at a high level. So just going into that league, it almost felt like a refreshness of being back in the NBA, but in the summertime, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're still flying first class. You're still staying in nice places, still having these type of high caliber teammates. I mean, Gilbert Arenas was my teammate, you know.
Gil,
Zero.
You know,
my boy.
and Lamar briefly was my teammate, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, for me, it's just like, wow, this is really cool. And to be able to have an opportunity to really show people that, hey, you know, I'm just not a back-to-the-basket player, that I've always kind of had this game, but I just felt fresh introducing it in this type of league because it's just like, oh, you just not going to come out here and guard me on this three? I'm about to knock it down in your face, you know? You know? So it was just a treat, and I think really when we got to go out and we see all the fans, it was like, wow, like this is big. Like this is big. Look how many people are out here and how many people will come up to the hotels to have the autograph signatures of your old NBA card, or, you know, just want to get a picture of you. I thought it was really cool. Just brought me back full circle, and I'm just looking forward to the next season, man. I really came in to prove. Now I know, you know, during this next season might be a target because, you know, I did some people out there dirty on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the challenge, and I mean, I won a championship, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They didn't know about you. They were sleeping on you because you were top 5 in points.
It was camping. It was camping. And it's crazy because I felt like I've seen this story my whole life. Seen it in high school, seen it when I first got to college, seen it when I first got to the league, and now it's here at the Big Three. So it's just like, oh, okay, you don't know me? Oh, you'll see.
That's what's up, man.
That's the best way to show them, bro.
That's the best way to do it.
Absolutely.
And so, look, I'm a huge Gilbert Arenas fan, so I gotta ask you, what in the world is it like having him as a teammate? I know he's a wild card.
It's like
so
stand-up comedy, dude. Like you being in Dave Chappelle's room or something. He's got a joke, but he's a really, really brilliant mind. understands the game at a high level. And I mean, he played at a high level. He gave Kobe 60 in state.
60.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always wanted to try to pick his brain, and then especially when we were in the games, just have better understanding so I can have a good rapport with him on the court. But overall, great guy, a funny guy at that. Funny as hell. And I mean,
could tell just from his IG, bro. He be wild.
Oh my God, his IG is OD, and he has no filter, you know,
none.
It's real, and that's what you can appreciate. Like, you're always going to get the realness from him. So I always appreciated that, and then appreciate them picking me too. Like I was saying, like, nobody didn't know if I was still playing or playing at a high level, and they gave me an opportunity, and I just wanted to thank them with my game on the court.
Yeah, man, we'll be looking out.
For sure. All right, now, Craig, man, thank you so much for coming on. So we got a few quick hitters for you at the end. I'm kind of curious to see what your answers are going to be. So for the first one, I'm going to have to make you choose. I'm sorry. LA or Boston? LA or Boston? Like, I know you're an LA guy, but I know you spent. I did 4 years.
Hey, your boy Dudley on the team.
I would like to know, like, did it change up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I became a Patriots fan. Tom Brady, guy that broke.
They converted you.
Well, because we don't have no. We didn't have no football
LA,
team.
LA was gone.
It wasn't the team in LA at that time. Yeah.
You're like, like a dad always disappearing, trying to come back in later. You know, that's how.
Oh man.
But I mean, I got to watch Tom Brady's first game.
Word, that's dope.
Bledsoe got hurt, so I saw that first game. I saw they came up with the stats of being an underdog and the last pick of the draft. And, like, it's part of my story, too, of being that type of underdog. So it's like, how can I not watch this guy? And he just keeps on winning. Hey, prove them wrong. And I felt like, man, if I got to talk to Tom one day, it was like, you motivated me in levels that you didn't even know, because I felt like my story was kind of similar to yours, and being that type of underdog and you just going out there and proving people wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a GOAT. Totally different categories, but at the same time, man, he helped me a lot, motivated me in different ways. So the sports town, I have so much appreciation for, because they are real fans. I'm a LA guy, and know half of these fans sometimes can be very bougie, and these are my people. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, I think it's due to that, the cold, the grit, you know, the griminess of, you got to go outside to see this game. It's like, you're risking your life to go see a game, you know? Even when you come out here, it's just like, we got traffic because everybody want to be outside. Like that, you know? But, I mean, love home, man. I can't never go away from my home, man. Home is home.
I got
so
you. I'm not going to hold you to that. I feel the same way.
But Boston's here too, man.
Hey,
Boston's
wonderful
here.
city. I love it. All right. So MJ or Braun?
You just gonna drop it?
I'm just gonna drop it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I want to hear his perspective.
At the end of the day, Michael Jordan is the greatest. He's 6-0. The guy's competitiveness was on another level. There's no disrespect to LeBron, but it's just a totally different era. And in that era, he dominated. Not only that, he took a break and came back and three-peated twice. We don't know a lot of people to do three-peats. The Lakers did one three-peat. Kobe tried to do a second, but ended up losing to Boston that first time.
So close.
So that's why, it's like MJ Kobe for me, because of those guys and their mentality and how they wanted to win, and how you can't be a nice guy all the time. Nice guys don't win. Sometimes, just like Jim Carrey says in The Mask, in an article, Stanley Ipkiss, nice guys, why nice guys always finish last, right? Sometimes because you don't have that mean approach. Sometimes you gotta be the evil guy or the mean guy, because sometimes those bring the best out of you. And we know we're in a different age and it's different rules, so you don't have to be that mean in the game, but it's good to have, in a sense. And I feel like who's a guy that has Draymond has that side. Yeah, it's always you always need that type of toughness, And I felt like MJ is just one of a kind. It really is. And it's just like they had to impose rules for him that wasn't even a part of the NBA rule system. That's why you have to change the game. Whenever you're a good player, I feel like the league has to change its approach, either defense or whatever style. And for Jordan, it was just like he'll dunk on you, so we got to take him out the air. We got to foul him hard, because this dude will literally jump over you.
MJ Kobe, bro, you just gained
great answer. Like
you just
see, I already knew. I was like, I knew he was here before we even started.
Tiago's so mad right now. Tiago is
hey, look, I ain't mad.
Tiago's so mad. Tiago's a Braun fan.
I love LeBron's game. Is LeBron one of the top players of all time? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, these are just different rules guys can play in. So I always feel like you can't never compare because it's just totally different eras.
Yeah.
If Jordan didn't have hand checking, how much would Jordan have?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
People were like, that's why Magic Johnson had that crab dribble like at half court. It was just like, I get passes through forearm,
Yep.
And 3 seconds in the key now. Jordan's taking off.
Yeah. True.
And you seen it in Kobe. Because that was the closest we got to Jordan because of Kobe. And you seen that type of flair. And I mean, he had 81.
Yeah. You saw all the benefits of what Jordan could do in this era. Exactly. Is where Kobe was. That's the closest we're going to see.
Respect.
Yes,
respect.
Great answer. Great answer.
LeBron's a great player, though. I mean, he knows all 5 positions. And he really makes the right plays. Sometimes we feel like, Jordan and Kobe are selfish, and that's why they get that type of player, they're that caliber type of player. But LeBron won't force a mean jump shot, pass it to the open guy. It's really the right play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's more Magic than he is Jordan.
Way more Magic.
For sure. All right, and this last one, I kind of think I know the answer to this one. So your favorite arena to play in?
The Garden.
Oh, wow. You flipped it on me. I thought she was going to say Staples Center.
I mean, I love Staples. It's home. I've been in Staples a lot, but I think of being in the Big East and playing in the Garden. Smelling that beer when you go through the tunnels, you know what I'm saying, between the seats area, when you go into the locker room. I think it was just a different vibe, and it was such a historic place. And for me, I felt like it was just different. It was bouncy. It was something special. Even when I got in the leagues, it's just like, man, I love this being in here for some reason. It's just a good feeling for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't really know if I ever had a really bad game in college or in the league at the Garden. Because I feel like everybody's played on that. It's like a Broadway stage, man. It was different. Before Staples, and I think Staples took the concept, they used to darken the seat areas and would brighten up the court like as if it was its own theater, So, like, just feeling that atmosphere and going out and playing, like, there's just nothing like it. You walk in, you see the old school pictures of different people who had concerts there or played in the game. And in my mind, it's always iconic when Jordan does that move. I'm going to go baseline. Now I'm going to go back with the cycle. I'm going back baseline. Here you go, all in your mouth. So just having those type of memories. And, I'm a big fan of Bernard King. I mean, that guy was a bucket. So for me, the Garden does it for me.
Gotcha. And one thing I wanted to say, too, I got to spend some time looking at your Instagram, and it's very inspiring, super motivating. It's really nice to look at. But outside of you being an athlete, I seen in your bio you said aspiring writer. So I was wanted to see if you could speak to what are some type of things that you're thinking about creating, or what's next for Craig? Yeah,
so I started to develop this writing in Jerusalem, where I got to write about my experiences of being an LA kid, NBA guy, living in Jerusalem. I would do like a weekly blog, and I would have some pretty cool experiences. From there, it helped motivate me because I understand I was starting to go around and talk to the young youth just to try to inspire them on whatever their goals and dreams are to want to write some children's books. So I'm actually in the work, especially right now, just trying to develop it more and more. I think I've become a perfectionist because it's like I'll have one done and think I'm done. It's like, nah, I don't want to do that no more. Like I want to make sure I'm doing something else and doing it right. I just want it to be perfect because I just want to inspire a generation just to go out and be their best self. Don't worry about the doubt, turn negatives into positives, and you can really do anything that you put your mind to. So I think that's what set me up to be a creator, writer, to where I can talk about these things through my story, and hopefully down the lines end up creating some things as well to where I can hopefully put it on, the big screen or TV one day as well. So I see that as my passion going forward a little bit of, just still keeping it in with the youth, inspiring them, but just trying to create content that I think will be good and necessary just for the future.
That's awesome, man. Like I can't wait till you start releasing things like I love when athletes do stuff like this because your stories are so compelling. And like you were talking about earlier, confidence, man. You got to have confidence. And, it's great for people to be able to read that from someone else, to see your perspective, see your story, see how you grinded it out. And, you really end up having a great career, and you're doing to do great things for people. So that's amazing, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Cliff. Thank you.
I got an 8-month-old, so no, I'm just saying, like, he's gonna need some books soon. some Craig Smith books. Like probably be the hookup. Right. So I'm gonna keep my eye out because I'm probably gonna slide one of those because it'd be a cool story to tell my son, and I'll be like, yeah, I talked to this dude one time. It's dope.
All right, so Craig, man, thank you so much for coming on and spending time with us, bro. Triple Overtime, we appreciate it so much, bro. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yago, Tony, Cliff, it was my pleasure. Thank you guys so much. You guys are doing a fantastic job. You guys keep it up. Stay well, stay strong, stay positive.
For sure. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
you, man.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode of Triple Overtime. Big shout out to Craig Smith. Be sure to follow him on Instagram at BlackRhino83. You guys already know what to do. Go to all the socials at 3OT Podcast. Comment, come talk to us, and be sure on all podcasting platforms that you subscribe to the channel so you can see all the content that we're releasing. Until next time, peace.